Hey guys, what's going on? Lucky here. So back at the shop, I've been working on customers' cars like crazy. Tons of stuff going. I'm bringing in more jobs, knocking them out as fast as I can. We'll walk over here and just do a quickie. Progress on the Mustang, coming right along. This is a fuel injection deal for a long-term friend. I've known this guy since high school. This is another project, customer bought it. I just cleaned the thing up, just basically scrubbed the whole thing with Ajax. That's just primer from back in the day. Doing, just cleaning things up. Gonna put some exhaust in it. It's got a 5-speed transmission. I'm gonna put in a quick performance rear end, wire the thing, just basically make a driver out of it, not worry too much about aesthetics, just the way I like them. And clean the thing up, make it a cruiser. Wire and fire, and then start putting it back together. So that's pretty cool. Also, getting ready to put the slicks on the back of the Chevelle because we're getting ready to go to duct tape drags. That is this month, the 27th and 28th in beautiful Tucson, Arizona. Yeah, but you know what I'm doing right now? I just finished a video doing a bunch of stuff on Whitey Ford, and I blew the thing up. I did the firewall. Once that was all done, I took the front end apart and sent that off to powder coating. It was supposed to be back today. It will be back tomorrow. There's just a shot of the roughed up firewall up there, or roughed out. And it's plenty good enough. I'm not going for a show car here. I'm just going for a cruiser, and this will be a cruiser. So one of the concerns with this vehicle was the way the body was mounted. It really wasn't gonna fly, so I knocked off all that other stuff. It wasn't difficult at all. Cleaned up the frame. Got some rectangle tube, thick-walled tube, and cut it. Did some measurements, made them even, punched the holes. I'm bolting it down at its absolute lowest setting. So as you can see, the body is very close to the front bottom of the frame. It will be up just a little bit more when I put the body bushings in. But just to keep it all smooth and square, I'm bolting it solid. I'm gonna tack it right now. Tack it to the frame, tack the seams right here, the edges. And then lift the cab up and do a full weld. Burn it in. As you can see, there's a nice little air gap right there. Nothing's gonna be rubbing. There's ample room for everything. I think worst case scenario, after the bushings and everything are in, I will determine if I need to notch this cross member right here for the drive shaft, or potentially notch this one. The further back you go on the drive shaft, the more it moves. So I definitely do not want the accident of the drive shaft hitting anything because the car is too low. And I will eventually slam it. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that I will be taking a plasma cutter and cutting this out. And but it's thick enough, it's not a problem. So that will be cool. But other than that, yeah, man, progress. Anyway, getting ready to weld this thing in right now. Make sure it's in there square. I can see that it's not square from where I'm standing right now. So I'm gonna square everything up, tack it, lift the cab, and weld it in on a permanent basis. I'm pretty jazzed with the progress, for sure. Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut this in. I burned them in, sorry. I was gonna actually do a steel plate on each side and weld them to the plate and then weld the plate to the frame, but honestly, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, those are burned in. I have a minimal amount of grinding to do to make sure that's done. I should have cleaned them out on the inside, that metal. There was some sort of a contaminant in there, and when it started to, actually just in one spot on both sides, just whatever was in there, the gas or whatever started to come out, kind of contaminated the weld a little bit. But I'm gonna drop it down right now, put my little 2x4 apparatus on to lift the frame, lift the body off the frame, and then just weld the top of that bracket. And then that's really probably about it. Put some rubber bushings in there and set it right back down. Yeah, shouldn't take but a second. Awesome. Dokie. They say at grinder and paint makes me the welder I ain't, but it's not terrible. I'll show you that one. There is an ugly one over there, but it's okay. It'll hold the car. Okay, so that is it for the cab. It's the back of the cab. Small spacers on the top are mounts. Front up there. I made some little nut certs and welded them in. So when that drops down, there's one bolt right there you can see. Sits on a small spacer in the front. The idea of the small spacer is it will isolate road vibrations, stuff like that. It just makes it a more comfortable ride. Next thing I'm going to do is fit the bed. Once the cab's on and level, I'll fit the bed, make it level, block it up using the 2x4s. And then right there, there's another piece of square tube that I already cut the right width and drilled holes through at the correct measurement, which is different from the cab. Actually, it's wider. And I'll set the bed on here. I will bolt that to the bottom of the bed, and then using a little CAD, cardboard assisted design, I will make it a couple of legs, much like this one. Go out there and set those right on the channel iron and cut them, angles and everything. Figure them all out with cardboard before I cut them up on the car. So then after that's done, hopefully still in the same episode, I'm going to tie this one into the one that I'm going to put here. And then tie those, well, the back one from here to there, and then from there to here, or even maybe just straight back. The idea is to stop the frame from flexing. So we will see. I'm pretty happy with this though, looks good. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, just got the stuff back from the powder coater. It's right here, core support in both front wheel wells. I'm gonna fit the wheel wells right now. I've dropped the body down on the cross member. Once again, there's no bushing or isolator between the cross member and the cab. So it's gonna look a little lower than normal. Gonna make this thing lower when we're done anyway. But yeah, originally I think the vehicle frame sat a lot closer to the ground with the car body on it. But after you remove the car body, all the spring rates go right to hell because, well, obviously you've taken all the weight off the thing. So I'm going to be changing the spring rates, probably do a complete coilover all the way around, and then go from there. Well, set it all up. We'll scale the car, figure out what spring rates work best, and then do shocks with do coilovers with the correct spring rate. We can move this right here. Get sticks McGann to go right up here. I think that seems about right. Lock them down. That seems good. So the brake master cylinder, it can get installed. I won't put the nuts on it just yet. But at least I know it's out of the way. You'd be surprised how many blacks, shades of black they have for powder coating. I like a satin black, for stuff like this. This goes on that side over there. Heck yeah, that looks really good. It just looks clean. See, I did a little bend down there to go right around the master, or the booster. That's pretty close. Heck yes. All right, that looks pretty darn good. Looks a little factory. Let me dig around, find some nuts and bolts. I think I also need to move the cabin a little bit forward. Luckily, everything is slotted, easy to move. Okay, be right back. Okay, there it is. Considerable amount of work has occurred. Wood wells are installed. Actually, whole front end is actually installed, bolted on, solid, lined up, pretty straight for original. Body's bolted on, front core support's bolted on, all the powder coating is happening. Oh, grill is installed. Bumper brackets have been modified. See the powder coating back there? I think it looks pretty cool. I raised the radiator and the trans cooler and AC condenser maybe 2 inches. I think I can go up a little bit more. I'm just checking as I go up for hose bind. I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel to raise the radiator. If the hose, if everything flexes nicely while it raises, cool. If not, it's perfectly fine hiding behind the bumper, but I kind of want a little bit more above. Otherwise, I was going to drill holes in the bumper, which would look fine too. Yeah, well, Wilson, fenders lined up. The other side here looks nice. Fender's a piece of junk, but other than that, it's good. Looks good. New hardware too. Pretty happy the way I trimmed the wood wells, turned out pretty nice with the powder coating. All the brake lines and everything tucked right in there. Looks like it belongs with the firewall and the booster. Now, show you what I did under here. Okay, there is the cross member. Ended up moving it all forward just a little bit. I actually need to clean this up down here a little bit and paint it. But there's decent air gap between the frame and the body all the way around. I've got the body lines out front or on the cab and the bed all lined up. I cut some wood and put it right there, a little 4x4 on both sides. The back is just a little bit low. These were the cobbled together brackets that somebody else made. That I will be cutting off. And the back of the cab, or the back of the bed needs to go up just a little bit. Obviously, tank is removed, it's gonna stay out. Thinking about putting a, well, we'll see. I'm gonna definitely put a fuel cell back here, but I wanna run pulse width modulated pump. So, well, actually I may not need to if I get the Holly harness. So if the Holly harness shows up, I will be just putting a fuel cell back here. And biggest one I can, so I just don't have to mess with it a lot. But that's it, really. Very pleased with the outcome. Oh, here's the bumper brackets. They're actually the horns off the frame. They were cut off. They were in a box. I got all the parts. And the bolt that holds the core support on it actually goes right through. It used to go right through that stock frame too. They helped me line everything up. And yeah, they just hang on that big giant bolt. If I crash, there's gonna be a excessive amount of damage, but if I crash, it's gonna be an excessive amount of damage anyway, so all good. all there. Turned out pretty decent. There's enough room in here for a coyote, if you know what I mean. But yeah, pretty jazz. Steering, brakes. You'll see what I was talking about here with the cooling system. That's where it should be, you know, stock. I think I should be able to raise it up a little bit without too much work. But yeah, that's it really. Anyway, as always, thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video and share. See you guys later.